First of all, just tell me about bye week. Wasn't really a bye week practice-wise. You guys went at it, and what was the value of not really taking a break and kind of reinforcing things that you guys wanted to get done? How was that for the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think we really took it serious just coming off of that last game and knowing that what we're coming into next week isn't going to be an easy week. So that was not a bye week at all. So that's why it was an off week. I mean, we came into this week with real good preparation, had some good practices up to now. I think we've really been preparing a lot for what's to come. So it's a good thing.
In your mind, what do you feel like the defense needed to improve upon? What was kind of your mission along with your teammates in terms of the things you guys wanted to clean up?
I think it's all of us being on the same level with communication. That's our biggest like thing that we need to work on is communication. Just making sure we're all on the same page. I don't think there was a play out there that we weren't. Every play we were all on the same page, which cost us some yards, which cost them some rushes, which is something we're working on right now with consistency.
UNI specifically has some, obviously some good players. Their quarterback is leading the league in passing. They have good receivers, good running backs, the whole 9 yards and everything else.
Yeah.
But that's the standard you guys have to raise yourselves to every week. I mean, and that's the standard the schedule has had for you already. Is that just something that maybe you don't get phased by the personnel so much? It's just a certain standard that you have to lift yourselves to?
Yeah, I don't think that we lift ourselves up to. I think that that's how we practice, and that is our standard. So we stay at that standard throughout the whole practice. So when we're not at that standard during practice, we know it's not going to be a good week. But we always practice to stay at that same standard, no matter who's in town or where we go. So that's key.
Well, Gavin, it wasn't really a bye week in terms of practice. You guys kept going at it with pads and as if it was a game week. Tell me about the benefit of that, what you felt like the offense needed to get out of it and what you did get out of it.
I think we got confidence. I don't think confidence was ever not there, but I think we built on it. I think we did a great job of being more consistent. And we talked about that after the game on Montana and trying to get back to more consistency and doing good things, but doing it on a regular basis and eliminating those plays. And I thought this week and last week we did a really good job of that. On offense, we started moving the ball a lot better in 2 minutes when we're going against our ones. And I think that's what we need. We need that confidence to know that we can do it. And nobody hasn't believed that we couldn't do it, but we just need to see us do it and just keep that going. And I think the bye week and this week has been really beneficial to us. And I think we're going to see that this Saturday. So.
Were you able to work on things like getting your timing down, things you work on in preseason that you don't get a chance to really focus on as much in seasonal practices, but does it kind of revert back to that mode of working on those types of things?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, we've been just doing the same thing. We're just trying to get good at what we do, and that's kind of what we took the last 2 weeks to do. And it was nice to sometimes go back to your fundamentals and focus on that. And I think we do a good job of that every day, no matter what it is, no matter the situation. But these past 2 weeks, we have implemented a little bit more conditioning because of how we talked about Montana and Purdue. And you see us starting off pretty good. I mean, we're holding our own. And then you kind of see us fall off with physicality and stuff. So one of the 4 main things that we had going into this week was sustained physicality. And that conditioning for us, I think it's really going to pay off, and it'll show itself Saturday.
There's individual personnel I could go into with you and I, like Woot Governor and all that, but, I was talking to Bilal about this from a defensive point of view. It really, though, with the caliber of competition you guys play, is really just maintaining a standard regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah.
Just talk about the importance of that because – regardless of the individual pieces on the field, you're going to be playing a good opponent for the rest of the year. So, what do you feel like you guys can do to get yourself to the standard that you need to be at to win these games?
We all knew what we were getting into when we signed to play football at Indiana State. you're playing in the best conference, the Missouri Valley. Everyone here knows that, and we harp on it. We harped on it back in January when I first got here. This is going to be a grind. This is going to be a gauntlet. I mean, that's what I guess we've named it, the 8-game gauntlet. And, I mean, we stress that, and then also on offense, all we talk about is the standard every day in team meeting. And when you deviate from that standard, it should feel different. It should have felt different after Montana when we didn't put out the standard. It should have felt different Purdue when we didn't put out the standard. But these last 2 weeks, we have practiced with a purpose. We've practiced with intent, and I think we've done a good job of maintaining the standard and trying to reach the standard and strive for it. And when it doesn't happen, I mean, I had a few plays a day where I could call myself out where it wasn't the standard today, but we're going to go back to it, and I'm going to keep striving for the standard every single play. And I know everybody on the offensive side and defensive side is going to keep going for that. And so, like I said, we know what we're getting into, and it matters, but it doesn't matter if we aren't, like you said, we aren't striving for that standard. So
You have a little different perspective. I was going to write a story about Justin Dinka. You have a little different perspective since you came in and he was already here, but tell me about what your impressions are of him as a back. He's been productive, obviously had a little bit bigger role in an unintentional way when T got hurt against Montana, but tell me about your impressions of him as a running back from a quarterback point of view.
I'm gonna just talk about him as a guy first. I mean, I really just love Dinka as a teammate. I mean, from when I first got here, I clicked with everybody here, honestly, and Dinka's been just one of those guys who's just great guys, and we have those all over the program. And he's just a great guy and a great guy to stand beside out on the field. You have a lot of confidence in. If something's gray outside, you're not sure what the read is, just hand it off to that guy and let him do what he does best. And you've seen the last 2 weeks. The first week, I think all of us had a little bit of rust on us, and we were trying to get the rust off. And there were some holes we were missing. There was some reads I was missing. But, I mean, you see the last 2 games, Dinka's been very explosive. And I'm sure you've seen glimpses of it at Montana. And he's done a very good job of being patient and letting the big guys up front do what they need to do, and then him reading off of them and hitting the hole. I mean, you can tell he's got very special vision. And I get excited when I watch him play. And I get excited when I watch a lot of guys play, but Dink's a great guy, and he's a great player.
Gavin, what do you feel you have done well? Early, I know you guys wanted more wins than you've had at this point,
Yeah.
but what are things you feel like you guys have done well as an offense?
Like I said, we've shown glimpse. I think we've done well at I feel like I've done well with my execution in the RPO game. There's been some execution errors where I try to force something that I shouldn't have done. But I mean, going back to the first few games, like I said, the first half, execution-wise, we've been very well. I mean, Montana, our time of possession was 2 times theirs, and I firmly believe that everything that we've stressed in the offensive side is run the game or run the ball with an edge and hunt shots, and I think we did that really well in the first half of those 2 games. And when you see that happening, our time of possession gets good, our defense stays off the field, and I think those things we just have to build on, and we like I said, we've seen it happen. We just have to trust that we can do it, and we just have to sustain it. And I think we should just do a better job of just sustaining that, honestly.
These are hard questions to ask someone like you because historical questions, you're not on every team, and so it's hard to really kind of answer it from your perspective. But as Coach Mao touched up on a presser, he's talked to you guys about not being very successful at Northern Iowa, haven't won there since 1988, that being the lone win ever in the Unidome for this program. But also just historically, recently, the offense has really struggled against Northern Iowa. I think 17 straight quarters without an offensive touchdown. Haven't scored a touchdown since 2015 against UNI. How you as a leader of this team I don't necessarily embrace those challenges, but also not overthink it as well, if that question makes sense.
I kind of like how you worded it, not overthink it. because I mean, as me, I'm just gonna go in there, and I know so is our offense. We're just gonna go in there and execute what we practice to do. Not really worried about last year. Not really worried about the years before. I'm worried about this team, and I know what we can do, and I know what we're gonna do, and I fully expect to execute and play very well and win the game. I mean, that's just what we expect. We expect to go in there and do what we're supposed to do, no matter what. I mean, it would be pretty cool for this team to finally go in there and win in the Dome. But then again, not trying to make anything bigger than it should be. It's another game, and we just got to go out there and execute and do what we need to do.
Kind of to your point, Gavin, I mean, the reverse side of the history of it is very few of the players on the roster have played in the Unidome because it got skipped on the last rotation. So does that kind of demystify, the historical part of it? I mean, it's not your guys' burden, it's the program over the time. Does that help kind of not worry about it a little bit?
I think in some ways, yeah. Because I remember in high school having like those bad tastes in your mouth from 2 years ago, going over there and getting screamed at by the other team and other fans. But I think that's just part of the game, honestly, coming into a new place and just having to piggyback off of your guys. And I mean, there's guys like on the team that were like that, and Dante, and they've been there and they've done that and they've been through that, and we just have to see it in their eyes, and they have to be vessels of that energy and just lead it or give it to us. And you know how Dante is, and I think they do a great job of just being vessels and giving us that energy. So, I mean, to your point, yeah, it could make a little bit of a difference, but at the same time, like I told Luke, I mean, we have to do what we need to do. We have to execute, and no matter what happened the last 2 years, it's this year. And this year we have a goal. Next year we have a goal. Let's keep building this thing. And, I mean, we want to win football games no matter what. So